So I saw that movie Hard Eyes in theaters. I had interest in this movie, but I mean, it wasn't like on the top of my list. So let me start with the positives. I think the two lead actors, they do a great job. Overall, I did really like their characters. I thought they had great chemistry between the two lead actors. And there were some moments where I was like, okay, this is cute. And I did, want them to end up together and survive at the end. So I think the two lead actors did a good job in this movie. Like Alva Hunt, I thought she did like I said, a good job. I did like her character. And Mason Gooding, who was from Scream 5 and 6, I loved him in those movies. I know he's going to be back in Scream 7. I think he's one of those actors where I can really tell he has just a lot of charisma. And I think they both did. But I like this character too. And overall, I like the design of the mask when it comes to the Hot Eyes, where the Hot Eyes killer, like in the movie they show that when it's dark his eyes go red where he has kind of like x-ray vision. I thought that was a cool design choice for the mask, and I like the crossbow and like cupid arrows that relate to Valentine's Day, and the idea of doing a whole slash for Valentine's Day. I thought that was a fun concept. Like they're kind of doing that lately with holidays where they do like holiday slasher movies. Like you got Thanksgiving, which I thought was fun but not great. So I like the idea of that, like doing a slasher horror movie on like a specific holiday. And that's really about it with the positives for me. I would say one of the positives is that it has some good kills in the movie. I thought the opening kill was really good. I do think the best kill was the one that was in the trailer. Overall, I thought the other kills were solid in this movie. Like there wasn't any kills that stood out, but I feel like the first half of the movie and second and towards the end, the third act is where you get some good kills. I thought, but I would say the best kill was the one from the trailer when you see the girl in the vein, you see the hole in her mouth. Now the negatives with this movie is that the humor missed more than it hit for me in this movie. It's a little too cheesy and corny at times. I totally understand it's a Valentine's Day horror slash movie, but in the middle of the movie, I feel like they leaned a little too much into that, and there was moments where I felt like the comedy felt out of place. Like when you're trying to have these cute moments between the two lead characters, there was just times where it just felt like this feels out of place. Like I felt like this kind of like didn't need to be there. And when it comes to the side characters, I thought they were all very forgettable. Like the main girl's friend, as she works with, I found her like all the side characters felt very like throwaway characters to me. Like you had the guy from a Final Destination, who I'm a big fan of, and he's still my favorite main character in the Final Destination movies. But you had Dick Devoid Swords or something. I know I'm pronouncing that name wrong, but the main kid of the original Final Destination movie. I'm a big fan of him, and he plays one of the cops in this movie. And then his partner is Jordan, is the actress Jordan, who played Dawn's sister in the Fast and Furious movies. And there's actually a Fast and Furious joke in this movie, which I thought was a little weird. Like I didn't find the joke personally funny. I just thought it was weird to reference like Fast and Furious in a scene in this movie. But I thought those two. I thought like the guy Final Destination was just pretty much wasted in this movie, and even for both, and I think for both of the characters, they just weren't very interesting. So I think he was just kind of like wasted in the movie, and just overall the side characters didn't just. I felt like were very thin. And like I said, it's just very cheesy and corny. I think it leans too much into it in the middle chunk of the movie. And another negative thing with this movie is you have two kills in this movie, which was very obvious. They did the whole scream thing, which I don't mind if you like have multiple kills in a movie. But the reveal I felt was one felt just completely random to me, and another one just felt extremely predictable. So this is gonna be spoilers. If you haven't seen a Hard Eyes, stop the movie now. But I'm gonna spoil who the two killers are. So one killer is a guy that is an IT guy you meet in one scene of the movie. I thought that was just random. I was like, you've seen this character for like one scene in the movie, and you're like, okay. That to me felt uneventful and just random. And then the other one was the extremely predictable one, which is the cop girl, which was so obvious because at the beginning of the movie, an opening scene, it shows she's on like a dating app and she's talking about guys, and it just like throughout the whole movie, it just felt very obvious it was her. Like I knew right away she was one of the two killers. So I feel like the reveal of the killers, one of them was just I was like, okay, that was random and uneventful. Another one just felt extremely predictable. And I just overall didn't really care for the characters. Like she's fine in the movie, but I don't think there's really much to the characters. And the whole reason for why these two leads are picked, because originally they weren't going to go after the two leads of the movie, because they show at the beginning the Hot Eyes Killer has been around and attacks couples on Valentine's Day. But the idea they go after them is because they saw them kiss, so they assumed they were a couple. I just felt like the reason was kind of ridiculous. Like again, I understand it's a Valentine's Day horror slasher movie, but the reason they go after them just felt really ridiculous to me. And even though I like the design choice with the hot eyes on the killer's mask and the cupid arrows, like, and I think the kills are solid in this movie. They don't really, because even though I didn't love Thanksgiving, I think that movie just did a better job when it came to where the kills connected to the holiday Thanksgiving. Like you saw the kill in the Thanksgiving movie using items that you would have that you would use on Thanksgiving. And outside the cupid arrows and the hot design eyes, the kill in this movie really doesn't like the kills don't really connect to the holiday of Valentine's Day anyway. Like there's no creativity when it comes to like them connecting to the holiday or even a kill having like using items that are Valentine's Day theme. So I felt like you could have like done more with that idea of this being a Valentine's Day kill. I feel like you could have had the kills with a Valentine's Day hardest killer using items that were related to the holiday, where the kills somehow relate to the holiday. I feel like you could have done more there. So overall, I think this movie is fine. I could understand why I've seen some people say this was a fun movie, and overall, I don't think this is a bad movie. Like I said, I think the two leads are likable. I did want them, I did like overall like the characters. I did want them to survive the end. I thought they had good chemistry, and like I said, there's some good solid kills in the movie. But I think the humor just felt, like I said, too cheesy and corny for me. The side characters were really thinly written, and the reveal of the killers I thought was just very predictable. And just overall, it's a movie I think is fine. Like I said, I can see people having a lot of fun with this movie. So, but this was one of the movies I felt kind of like it was middle of the road for me, where there was elements I liked about it, but there's also things that I felt like didn't really work with this movie. So, like I said, this movie's fine. Not gonna be one of my favorite movies of the year, but I didn't think the movie was terrible either. So that's my thoughts on Hot Eyes. Until next time, movie fans.